Well, here's an update on this 36-year-old bike ready for its Saddle Sore 1000 ride. This is how it'll look on the trip. Looks a lot more cluttered and covered than it really is. Like, for instance, the saddlebags are pretty much empty. But I thought that, well, I wear a suit, and if I need to get off the bike for a while for any reason or store things, but more, I'd have the saddlebags out of sight, out of mind. It's particularly the tank bag, because the tank bag has all my goodies in it. I've modified it quite a bit. I put the power supply inside a little box and various things. But this is going to be for my receipts, actually, a little container. I've got a backup little car GPS sitting there that'll keep mileage tracking, and I'm going to use a little Garmin up here for as a trip meter. Yeah, I was going to use this old Garmin 3, which is what I actually used back in 1999, but you can see that for some reason, even with a signal, it still thinks it's 1997. It would have been pretty cool to use this old device. A lot of glare, because it works just fine for what I need, which is just the odometer, so I can have it back up to my speedometer or excuse me, the odometer on the bike. That I just want to have a trip computer ready going. Oh well, it would look cool to have a nice vintage piece on this old vintage bike. Over there is where I'll put a camera. This bag back here is really just about giving me a backrest. I've learned that after a couple hours it's nice to be able to lean back against something and slouch a little bit. Actually makes for an easier ride. Actually, I had everything that was in the saddlebags in the backrest, but then I started thinking about security, so I put the saddlebags on. This thing on the back, I'm hoping looks like a duffel bag of some kind. But in reality, it's a 4-gallon fuel supply. Fuel cell, I should say. It comes out down here. Here's the on-off, and oops, I should have turned that off while the bike. And then routes down there, and then these are the lines coming down, teeing into the main lines. And yesterday I did go on a 100-mile ride, and I did run off the tank directly in here with the main tank turned off for 50 miles or so, something like that. And so it does seem to work okay. I do get some air bubbles in here though, because I can't keep the a constant downward slope on the fuel line, so if there's ever an air bubble, it won't migrate to the top. So, but it does seem to work. So having that 4 gallons there with the 6-gallon tank gives me 400-mile range, which is actually more than the Ironbutt allows. I think you got to stop and get data a receipt every 350 miles. So now for what I'm actually carrying with me. In this saddlebag, I'll have my heated vest. This is my flat tire repair kit. Duct tape, always have that, and about a half a can of seafoam alcohol, basically, to get it if I get any water. I've been on trips before where I got water at a gas station, not recently. Now this bag, like I said, I did at one time have everything in this bag, but now all I have is my clear face shield, which I'll be using in the morning, and when I start out I'll have the dark face shield. A safety vest that I had from my Navy days when I had to wear it, but in bad weather I do wear it. And then the tank bag cover and a rag, But basically, this ginned up little backrest is all in there. Now on the other side is all I have in here is my tool roll. My tool roll is kind of the standard beamer stuff, but I can't get to the standard place, which is under the seat. But because of the support bracket for my fuel cell, I can't really get the seat up easily. So I'm just putting the tool roll in here. That sucker is about a 5-pound thing. These are just some short sleeve shirt, short shorts if it gets hot, you know, that kind of thing. Just a basic change of clothing in these little bags. And this is a 3/4 inch thick by 19, I believe, piece of wood that I can use on the road underneath the Reynolds what they call a ride-off stand. And the reason I need that is because there's a Reynolds stand. See, I have it on a 1/2 inch piece of wood here, and that just barely gets the front wheel off the ground. I mean, I can spin it, but you know, a little bit more height would be good. Normally, it has both wheels solidly on the ground. I can pop a tire and change it and fix a flat on the roadside. Of course, people say, "Oh, well, just have a credit card and a phone." Well, I'm going. There's places in Maine where phones don't work, and also I'm on a time limit, so I think I could probably. I know I could change a front tire faster than a repair or flat toe or anything else could get there, and that's just it. I don't think I get a repair on the side of the road, and I don't want to have to give up my ride just because of a single front flat. Rear flat is more difficult because you have to take the front wheel off first, strap down the stand so it doesn't collapse, strap it to the front, and then lean the bike forward so that you can get the rear tire off from underneath the rear fender, which is, you can see it's pretty far down. It goes pretty far down. I think you need like 27 inches. I've done it. I did it when I put the new tires on this bike just a couple weeks ago. So far I have about 500 miles on this bike in this configuration. Seems to be running fine, so I'm really looking forward to this. And now the weather even looks like it's getting better. Looks like it might be partly sunny on Wednesday instead of the rainy day it was looking like for a long time.